What's good, everyone? This is your boy CJ, aka Y2J, aka CJ the God, aka I can't think of any other AKAs off the top of my head. But hey, this is Slap the Floor episode 2, and I'm here to talk to you guys about a few things. And the first thing on this week's list is Duke makes it to the Sweet 16. I'm filming this the day we beat TCU, and goodness gracious, all I have to say is thank you, God, we got Pat back, and thank God they just survived week 1, because oh my goodness, this team, uh, it's been hard to watch these guys. For the past few weeks, it's kind of been, for the past few games, it's kind of been just struggle fest. Losing our two important pieces, But I mean, hey man, it's March. You just got to do what you got to do to win these games. It's about surviving and advancing, and we for sure are surviving. And don't let I hope anyone that watched the TCU game, hopefully they don't sit there and say to themselves, "Oh wow, look at the box, look at this box score. They blew them out." Listen, we took over like towards the middle latter half of the second half, but man, it was a struggle. Like it was, oh my goodness. Um, watching watching our bigs. Granted, Pat was rusty, so it was like okay, but like watching Cam Boozer at times for most of the game until like the mid part of the second half, just consistently seemed to just turn it over. It was so uncharacteristic and so confusing. And it was like one of those things where TCU turns you over. I will give them that. That's just that part of their identity. They play gritty defensive basketball. But a lot of these passes were just like, what are we doing here? And I mean, shout out to Caden, because most of the time he didn't turn the ball over nearly as much as I thought he was or would have. Which again, I mean, I think I had Kaden is he's done his job. He's shown that even in the beginning parts of the year when he didn't get a lot of minutes, bare minimum he's going to protect the ball and initiate the offense and keep the offense afloat. So I appreciate that aspect. And that is one thing that we can say as fans, that even though we are missing Caleb Foster, he does bring a steady hand to the point guard position where he is consistent, and bare minimum he is going to run the plays that John wants, similar to Caleb, and he's going to not turn the ball over. Now, I do think that at some point, because if you watch the game at TCU, teams are going to continue to dare us to shoot, and again, it's another game where guys stepped up when they needed to. So hopefully with this tournament they continue to do that. But again, my biggest concern is without Foster, especially at the point guard position, you're missing a 40% 3-point shooter. And Caden I think he's better than 29%. And these past few games he's been starting, he's been hitting them. He's hit them at better than 29%, obviously. But at the same time, 40% is still 40%. And 29% is still 29%. You can't just lose that, and especially what he does defensively. And you also got to take into account that you just lose depth at a position that you did not have a lot of depth at in general. Losing your starting point guard and now your backup is your only point guard is still an issue. So we again, great that we somewhat are healthy. I have no idea what that was. Yeah, if you guys hear that, that was my ice maker. But anyway, um, but yeah, I don't know how we're gonna match up against. I assume St. John's. And St. John's to me, they're such a physical team, and they're gonna be a weird matchup for us. Um, I'm also just happy that Cam had a good game too. But then again, he always does this thing where the second half he just shows out or does whatever it takes for us to win the game. So I wasn't surprised about that. But for him to have that first half and then play the way that he played in the second was, I mean, it was a breath of fresh air. It was well needed. And Pat, man, Pat to me, bro, he is one of my favorite Duke bigs that we've had in years. And the thing that makes me such a fan of his is he does everything that you want in a modern center. He does all the little things. He's like the equivalent of like when you have a good center. Granted, he's a center, and it's gonna be weird. But it's like when you have a great center on your offensive line for in football. That is basically what he is. And I mean, the center in the NBA and the center in the NFL are practically the same thing. But having someone like that, where it's like when you know he is on the field or on the court, everyone seems to be in the right spots. He tells everyone where to go. On both sides of the ball, it is such an amazing thing to have. And having that back, you saw even when we were down and out, but we weren't down and out, but even when the game was getting, very close, it's like he would get back on the floor and then everything would just settle down. And it's just like we missed that for the past few games and we needed that. And that could potentially be something that helps us a lot against St. John's because that team is not a team where you can consistently mess up. You cannot keep messing up against St. John's. You cannot do what we did in the first half with Siena or that first minute or two with TCU against St. John's and expect a win. You have to play hard nosed basketball, consistent basketball for the entire game. And thankfully, Pat is back and he helps us a lot when it comes down to just being consistent and making sure we are where we're at. And Cam looked like Cam today. Kaden was great. Isaiah, amazing. Thank you. He held us down that first half, especially after that Siena game where he was kind of up and down. He showed out today, and even shout out to the young wings that did their thing. Dame Sar and Nick hitting, shots within that flurry to help extend the lead and, towards the middle to end of the second half. I mean, they were great. Malik Brown, doing what he does on the defensive end and rebounding and having those dunks, those easy dunks that he was, fed. It was a good game, TCU, against TCU. And TCU is a really good team. They're hard nosed. They play a brand of basketball that is not for the weak. So the fact that we came out against this pretty good team that had throughout the year has been in dogfights with a lot of good teams and competed against a lot of good teams, it says that yeah, we can at our best we can compete. So I'm happy about that a lot. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the Pelicans. I didn't know this until I looked it up. Casual fan alert. But yeah, I think we're either 10-6 or 11-6 post All Star break. I don't remember. All I know is in terms of records, post All Star, I think we're in the top 10 when it comes down to like records. We're like over 500, which I mean, shout out to the tanking teams that we've been beating the dog crap out of. But we've also stolen some games against teams that are not trash and teams that are actually like trying to jockey for playoff positioning. So losing to us, it doesn't help them at all. But yeah, shout out to this team, man. And again, I mean, we did blow the lead tonight against the Cavs, which this also segues into something about the James Borrego topic that I'll be talking about in a second. But yeah, this team is, I mean, especially post All Star break, but in particular post DeJounte Murray coming back, because boy, oh boy, having an actual point guard saved this team from being saved the season from being completely and utterly awful. But yeah, this All Star has shown a lot of positive things. It's shown that Jeremiah Fears is making strides and can be a pretty good guard in this league. It's shown that we probably shouldn't trade DeJounte unless we're getting something pretty good because man, he has been on fire. Zion is Zion, Sadiq Bey is Sadiq. The usual three guys, Sadiq, Zion, Trey, they've been doing their thing. Um, the only things that I've seen that kind of disappoint me and I have question marks about is Derek Queen has not been very important during this run. He's had some solid moments, but he hasn't been nearly as important as you would want him to be. And the only thing I can really say that as a positive is he's become better as a 3-point shooter. It seems as though because he's been hitting threes at a rate that I did not foresee. But I mean that's a positive, especially going into next season. And and I think it's something that can indicate that coming into next season he should be a way better jump shooter than he was coming into the league. And I think he'll be a whole lot more comfortable than he was at the beginning of the season. So I think that's a good thing. Another thing that's been a positive is Carlo and Yves very young raw bigs, but they have basically leaped over Derek Queen in terms of what James Borrego has been wanting, and what he clearly prefers them two guys over Derek Queen at this point. And yes, Derek Queen is a rookie, but at the same time, if you watch us at all, like you would know Carlo practically like a second year player. Like I mean he is a second year player, but in terms of like how long he's actually been playing, I guess, in the league, but like it was really like his sophomore year getting a bunch of minutes and this is also Yuzmisi's second year, and they both have shown that yeah, we can do something. Granted, I mean, with Carlo, he still has so many mental collapses on defense. It does not make sense, which is why he can't be a center. Which is he is a power forward, but that's besides the point. He's still shown a lot of upside, especially on the offensive end. And Yuzmisi defensively he's been amazing. He's been really good, and he's been so good to where he should be. Does he? I don't know if he starts. I didn't really pay attention to this game, to the recent game because again they were March Madness. Like I kind of start looking at that more, especially during this part of the year. And honestly, I forgot that we played them. I was really just box score watching. But yeah, the Carlo offensively was great, and Misi offensively is kind of still raw. The one thing that I will say that was an issue before is he had terrible hands, and his hands are nowhere near as bad as they used to be. So that's a positive. and he has shown that he can be more consistent. You're getting more consistent, like double ish games out of him. Or and it's not even just that. It's like if he doesn't score, if he is getting to a point where if it's like if he doesn't score really, then he's getting a lot of rebounds. If he doesn't get a lot of rebounds, he probably got like 3-4 blocks and a couple of steals. Like he's doing that now. So it's like he's kind of getting into a point where he understands that his job is to be the hustle guy, play defense type of big, right? So he's like, if I'm not getting a bunch of rebounds, then I have to get some blocks and some steals, some stocks in some way, shape, or form. If I'm going to, be on the floor, I got to impact the game mainly on the defensive end. And that is something that he's finally just registered and been like, okay, I'm just going to go hard at these things, make an impact on that side of the floor. And we've won games off of the strength of that. Uh, him just being an energizer guy that just plays hard on his defense has helped us a lot during this stretch. So, shout out to him. But this kind of should kind of lead me to one thing that I do have a concern about heading into the next year. This is basically what this whole spiel about the post All-Star break is about, because it's like we've been really good post All-Star, and a lot of it has been due to the fact that borrego has helped these guys, in particular the young guys, out a lot with the development, and the veterans that he has been playing or we have has also helped out too a lot, like DeJounte coming back. Borrego actually like are funny enough, just sticking with the DeAndre Jordan thing and not making it just some gimmick. He actually will play him if need be, and he actually like gives him minutes so these young bigs can see like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Something that Willie did not do when he started him and then he just stopped playing him, which is like, okay, I guess, but it's whatever. And DeJounte helps a lot because I think a standard has kind of been set. It not kind of has. It has been set to where, yeah, we're not the playoff team. Cool. We're not going to be losing these games though. Like have, we all have a reason to win. Like I got a reason to win because I'm here. If you're DeJounte, I'm here. I'm under contract. And hey, if this don't work, I got to hoop because I'm trying to go somewhere else too and get paid. Because he's only here for like he can only even if we keep him, he's only here for like 2-3 more seasons, and he got to play for another contract. So I got to be hooping. Everyone else, same thing here. Sadiq Bey, your contract coming up next. Zion, your shit ain't guaranteed. Like we all trying to play for these next coming contracts in the next few years, and we got to help these young guys develop. These young guys got to get their foot in the door some way somehow, and they got to understand like, yo, this is how you gonna stay in the league. So I think that has helped out a lot too, and James has also helped those guys, reach those achievements that they want to reach. It's in particular this second half of the season. So uh, it's just one of those things where it's like you're the New Orleans Pelicans. You don't have that many options probably in the market that are attractive. Mike Malone doesn't want to probably come here. Uh, Taylor Hendricks, I mean, he just left. He just got kicked out of Memphis. You don't know how he's going to handle it if he even wants to come here. You know, so the only other options we keep consistently seeing is guys like Kevin Ollie and freaking Darvin Ham, and to be honest, I'd much rather just stick with James Borrego because I already know offensively and I can question his decision making, but at least I know what I'm going to get out of a James Borrego team night in and night out with the way that these dudes been playing. We're gonna go up the floor. We're gonna score a lot of points. Defense to be desired, but we don't have a big, so just fix that. Shooting, he's doing all that. He's having a top offense without any shooting. Like that is, you can't say like how many people can say that? Not a lot. And to me, it's like if there isn't any better options, then yeah, I'm not going for no Darvin Ham. Because what does Darvin Ham do? What type of coach is Darvin Ham? I already saw him in L.A. and they were very disappointing. Kevin Ali, he got kicked out of. He was gone out of UConn, and they won a ring. And he's a college coach. We don't know how many of these college coaches are working. Like we don't know how college coaches. We already know that there's a history of college coaches just not working. Billy Donovan is probably the best. Well, Brad Stevens, and even then, it got to a point where he had to step down. And then we see Billy Donovan. He's a good coach. He's not great. I mean, Chicago, what are they doing? So I mean, it is what it is. I'm kind of at the point where I would just keep Borrego, but keeping Borrego, I would keep Borrego because I know what you're going to get out of him, and we're seeing that it is working. But my thing is, I don't know what Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver are going to want because they want their own guy. And listen, they've made so many shaky decisions. Some have worked, some haven't. I mean, as soon as Joe had the go to fire Willie, he got rid of Willie. But at the same time, I mean, granted, I've seen some people say that he was kind of forced to keep Willie or whatever. But it's like, I don't know if he really put up a crazy fight to get rid of Willie. And it's also like you're the same guy that, yeah, Derek Queen cool and all, but y'all looking at this pick right now. There's some bigs. These power forwards this draft, they looking real nice. They looking like if I'd rather have them right now than Derek Queen. I'm sorry. Yaxel from Michigan. Camp Boozer if we get lucky. I'd even want some of the later bigs. I'd want Pat Nagong, but I'd want Maya. Heck, I don't like UNC. I'm a new guy. I'd take Caleb Wilson in a heartbeat. I'd take Henry Vassir with one of these later rounds. It ain't even the fact that we don't have the fact that the pick is probably going to be top five. The fact that we don't have a pick at all is insane to me. With this draft, I don't care if we did a trade where, oh well, it becomes a swap with Atlanta in theory. So the pick becomes, well, Atlanta can just swap with us to get a top 5 pick, and then we just get their pick, but at the bottom. Like if it was something like that, if it was some magical way in the world, would I be mad still that we traded our top whatever pick? Yes, but looking at the talent and the bigs that we desperately need, at least we got something. At least we could be able to fix something. And it's not even just the bigs at this point. I mean, do we get another wing or another guard? It's like we the fact that I question the way that you acquire talent, and the fact that it kind of makes me sit here and be like, I don't even know how you gonna handle the coaching search because you got rid. Granted, luckily you lucked into having Sadiq Bey in that trade, but you got rid of Jordan Poole. But you have Jordan Poole, who now you have to sit here and try and get rid of. I don't know how you finna get rid of that contract. Granted, it's expiring, so I mean, people love expirings at a certain points of the season, but it's like he's still going to have to be here. And you might have to give up assets. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to give up some assets just to get rid of a expiring contract like that when you're not doing anything. You just let that. I mean, you might as well just take the L. Because what are we doing anyway? So it's like even when they make good decisions, it leads to something. It leads to a mistake happening. It's like a mistake is there. It's like, yeah, we got this, but it kind of cost us that. Like it's those type of things that they keep on doing. It's like, yeah, we got Derek Queen, but it cost us a very valuable piece. Yeah, we got Sadiq Bey in this trade, but we traded away a stretch big and a guard that's 10 times better than Jordan Poole right now. It's like, come on now. We wouldn't be. I mean, granted, no Sadiq Bey, but we probably wouldn't even be in this situation if we just kept CJ. And if you at least protect the pick for Derek Queen, you think people would be mad? No. And I 100% believe with CJ as Jeremiah Fears vet instead of Jordan Poole. What the Jeremiah Fears we're seeing towards the later of the season that's making great decisions with the basketball. Granted, I troll a lot, and CJ is a troll to me, and CJ did a lot of things, but CJ was a good vet. CJ, when he came under a lot of these young guys on the team, I guarantee if you ask them who helped them in the development, it would be CJ. Taught them how to be professionals, CJ. So having that, you get rid of that is a major issue for me. In hindsight, when you want to sit here and accumulate a bunch of young guys, it's like, okay, well, why would you risk it now? And I was a guy, and I was high on the trade at first because I thought we were getting a different type of Jordan Poole. I didn't know that we were getting this version. So, you know, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think that he would just be sitting on the court. He'd just be on the bench. But, you know, uh, but that's the thing with this James Borrego thing in the second half of the season. It's just like, man, like, we this off season is going to be make or break with this iteration of the team because granted I already knew that. I mean, this year we knew early on this was going to be a bad year, and especially with the decision to trade away the pick, it's like, okay, this is terrible. But depending on how you handle this off season, you can right a lot of wrongs. You just really need you need a better center. You need a starting center. And you need shooters. Bare minimum. If you want to keep this iteration of the team, you just need a starting center and shooters. Obviously, health to be on your side going into the next season. But if you're trying to keep everyone, that's bare minimum all you have to do. And then just improve in house. Fears get better. Queen get better. PV get better. Bryce McGowan, let's see what you can be. And then the other guys either obviously get better, like you want Zion training them to get better, they're still young. But bare minimum, be consistent. Or be what you are as a player. The guys that had bad years, go back to what you normally are. Herb, I can't have you being a terrible 3-point shooter. I need you to be better from three. Looney, if we keep Looney, I think we might just get rid of him. But if we do, Looney, I'm going to need you to be playable. I don't know if we're going to have DeAndre Jordan next year. DeJounte, keep hooping. Murray, keep hooping. Zion, I need you to, try and go back to what you were before this season. I know you finally lost all the weight or whatever. You conditioned different. But this offseason, I need to see something different. I need you to work more on your jump shot. I need you next year to be at least 24 a game like you were last year when you first started losing the weight. You know, but those are the things that this second half of the season has kind of made me think about it. And we're I think we can we get to 30 wins maybe. I think we can get to 30, but we're playing some decent teams that are trying to jockey for positioning, and we're not really playing any tanking teams or tanking teams. So it's gonna be interesting, but I think we could get to 30. I think we get to 30 wins. And one of my last topics, I'm gonna talk about Saints free agency. And this has literally been one of the best free agencies I've ever experienced as a Saints fan. And the reason I say that is because we actually spent money and we got players that us as fans actually wanted. Like I can't think of normally it's the best we get is we just re-sign a player that we always wanted back, but end up in the process losing a player that we didn't want to lose. So, but yeah, this is the first time where it's like players that we lost were expected, and it's kind of like an end of an era thing. And we re-signed or we replaced certain players or certain positions with players that we've been asking for. Like, did I think that we would? Like, I didn't think that we would get the actual running back that we wanted in Travis Achan, who I didn't know that's how it was pronounced until he said it. But shout out to him. Your name is your name, so it is what it is. I respect it, but yeah, like Travis Achan, home run, like that's a home running hitting running back. I don't remember the last time we have a home run hitting running back with that speed. That type of speed and athleticism, I don't remember since Reggie, maybe, or maybe Darren Sproles. Or Darren Sproles is like Darren Sproles and Kamara are closer to me personally, but yeah, we haven't had somebody that explosive at the running back position probably since Reggie, I think. And then Edwards, we finally have another guard instead of just Trevor Penning and just makeshift guards that we've been doing for the last few years. Right besides, right beside McCoy, while the other one is freaking Ruiz on the right side. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I also hope that we end up finding a replacement for Ruiz or getting someone that is way more consistent at being decent than Ruiz. But hey, you can't have them all. But yeah, getting those two guys day one was insane to me. Then getting Caden Ellis back was a shocker. First of all, I forgot he was even on the market. But getting him back, thank you. It hurts Atlanta because well, first off, they stole him. Well, they took him from us, and now we took him right back when he had the year that he had. So yeah, forget Atlanta. Screw Atlanta. But yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm also happy we got an actual backup tight end who I think is decent. Like we haven't had a decent backup tight end in a minute. I think Noah Fant is pretty good. Even though I think our starting tight end would make it really good backup tight end. But shout out to Jawan. When he's healthy, when he's on one, he's a really good tight end. And now we have a really good second string tight end. What else do we do? Oh, we let Alante go, but I'm not mad because I'm not paying say Taylor that much money. I'd much rather just either move someone else or draft Mansour Delane and move Riley to the interior or not to interior. I'm tripping. To the nickel. I would much rather do that. Or I'm gonna talk about him later. Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs. Put him as your slot guy when you run a nickel. So have him be, have him do that Derwin James role that I know Brandon Staley would just love. Man, Caleb now, I'm gonna hold off, but yeah, it does hurt though because again, every off season, every free agency, you lose someone. It sucks that we ended up losing Demario because boy, it's like okay, I get it, I guess. We must have just been like we just had to let you go because of era, but dang man, it's like to the Jets. And it's like I get you close with Aaron Glenn, but it's like, bro, you're not gonna win. Like you weren't gonna win here. But it's like, golly, bro. It's like I don't want you going there, bro. I wanted Demario to go to a winning team so bad just so he could get a ring. But that sucks. And Cam, he hasn't been signed yet, but I feel like I I do have hope that he will come back, but I don't know what the price will be if he does come back. So I don't know. I don't know. But I think he will come back to us though because if he if he was a hot commodity, he would have came back. He would have been gone. And that doesn't have and I'm not saying that as a negative because we got a great year last year, but again he's like 36 going on 37. It's father time. So yeah, what else did we lose anyone else? I don't think well, we could be potentially another thing. Kamara might be retiring. Which again, I just we're losing a lot of legacy players this year potentially, and man, if Kamara retires, I'd be sick. But at the same time, man, it's like we need a new era. We got younger. It's like we need to get younger. We need juice. So it's like I can't even get mad at it if he retires because like man like it was great when we had you. I wish we could have got you and them guys a ring. But it's like if you gotta go, you gotta go. You're not finna now. Granted, he's the one that doesn't have to go because again, you are under contract still, and we can use you 10 times more effectively. So you can keep, increasing your legacy over here as the second guy. And this time your numbers will be a whole lot. Your numbers will look nicer because of it. You just be used more efficiently. So I can see him staying, but he probably is like he's towards the end. Running backs don't last that long. You don't want to keep getting hurt. He don't have to play football. That's another thing. He gets money it's Alvin Kamara. He'll be straight. He'll be straight without football. He's got a personality. He can do a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, the same thing with Demario and Cam. Like they don't. They're just playing. They're playing up in age because they want to. They don't have to. These dudes, they do so much in terms of sports personalities and just philanthropy. They're just great guys off the field, but they just love the game so much and they love the team so much that it's like you don't want them to leave. And I know for a fact Demar didn't want to leave, but it's again they offered you a bag, so take it. So Cam, if someone offers you a bag, just take it. Kamara, he already said, man, I'll retire. He's like, I don't want to leave. I'd just rather retire. And if he was like retiring, just sadly just gotta retire, man. But yeah, that's how our off season has gone so far with free agency. And when it comes down to this draft, man, I said it. I kind of teased it a few minutes ago. Caleb Downs, bro, and it's not because he was a Saints fan or is a Saints fan. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that if you're telling me that we could get a dude right in this Brandon Staley offense, we don't have a nickel anymore. He fits right in, 10 times the tackler than Alante was. Way better in coverage than what Alante was. And he does a whole lot of other things. And you're telling me that this is the same guy that coached Derwin James and other great defensive safeties, and you're telling me that if we get a Caleb Downs, that I shouldn't expect greatness out of that man? Yeah, take him. And if you don't take him, the only other person I could even fathom is Carnell Tate, because he reminds me a lot of Michael Thomas, and this not literally, just the way that they're built. They get open just off of just pure technique. Great, amazing hands. So reliable. You can put them anywhere on the field. And they're both like 6'3" wide receivers. So it's like, you need a dude like that on this team. You need somebody with size, great hands, just kind of like a security blanket type. So we need that desperately. And if we can't get Tate or Downs, and Mekhi Lemon, he does. People compare him to Amara. I see it. I see the comparison a lot too. And yeah, those are the only three guys I would even really. Those are the three guys that I can see falling to us that makes logical sense. Uh, if and the only other thing I would say is Bane. If Ruben Bain falls to us somehow, then I don't care if any of those guys are on the board. Pick Ruben Bain, because he's going to be a monster. Or if Arvell somehow fell, it's like, outside of those two guys, just go right ahead, like pick those three, and you'll be straight. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the past few weeks of hoops for my favorite teams and football for my Saints, man. And I appreciate everyone that has listened or that listens or and will listen. All I ask of you guys is to like the post, share it, subscribe, and that's pretty much it, man. Welcome to the Slap the Floor podcast. I'm your host, and I hope all you guys have a great weekend.